see the new Midnight Show with Vic Terno?
Hell yeah, it's a great show. It's on at midnight on Fridays.
Have you seen the new Midnight Show with Vic Terno?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a great show. It's funny, and they got lots of beautiful women.
Yeah, that's Vic Terno. The new Midnight Show with Vic Terno?
Did I see it? It's great. It's funny. They got beautiful women, sexy women. I watch it all the time.
This is Christina Lime from the Midnight Show with Vic Terno. We're here with Joe Corsi from CBS FM, and I gotta ask you a question. Do you watch the Midnight Show with Vic Terno?
Every Friday night at midnight. That's the only time it's on, right?
Midnight, right? Yeah,
I'm there.
midnight.
I'm there. I love the show, and I love Vic. He's my favorite guy in the whole world.
How could you not love Vic?
Hey,
He's awesome.
forget about
He's
it.
the best host.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the new announcer for the Vic Terno, Big Joe Barry. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this, Robin Hood. Well, I'm dressed like this for the new mayoral race in New York City. There's one candidate out there that wants to charge the tax to rich people and give it all to the poor people. I agree with him, but I'm gonna steal from the rich people and give it to the poor people.
Joe, what are you doing here?
What are you so loud about? I'm a new announcer.
You're a new announcer? Jojo!
Do I stutter?
Jojo, put him in the trunk.
How many times are you going to put this guy in the trunk?
If he gets out, stuff him in a glove box.
I tell you where I'd like to stuff you. I had it up to here with you, Jim. I've been on the show as long as you have, and you always give me something about my size or whatever. Forget it. After the show, mano y mano, we're going outside.
Tonight from New York, it's the Midnight Show with Mr. Vic Terno. Tonight's guest, singer Mr. Carl Thomas. From the Sopranos, Uncle Pat, Frank Albanese. Now let's welcome the man of the hour, the Italian Johnny Carson, the godfather of all late night talk shows, Mr. Vic Terno.
He's the man you want to know, Vic Terno. He's given all the love from God above. Vic Terno. He speaks the truth and brings the news. Vic Terno. Come on and clap your hands for the man, Vic Terno.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Let me say thank you first to my studio audience. Love to have you here tonight. I want to say thank you, of course, to my TV Land audience. And first of all, let me say hello to Jimmy DeSola, the Midnight Show announcer, the enforcer. And of course, to Big Joe Barry. Right here, Big Joe Barry. Guys, let me start off my show by first of all thanking all our armed services around the world, the United States Armed Forces that protect us every minute. I always like to give them homage. Also, let me thank the New York NYPD for all their protection and all their 24 hours a day looking out for us, the FDNY, and all the other services and branches that help us, ambulance and all the rest. I want to also say to you that we have a very, very special show tonight. Tonight, as you heard from the announcer, Mr. Jimmy DeSola, we have the one and only, used to open up for Jackie Mason, Mr. Carl Thomas to sing for us. Yep. And as well, we have a special treat. Does anybody remember a small show that would show once in a while called Sopranos?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We have one of the stars, one of the recurring stars for the Sopranos, Uncle Pat, Mr. Frank Albanese. We're also going to have a young lady that's going to sing a song for us too, a guest. And let me just say that we have a very special announcement, and I'm going to say, first of all, let's welcome my beautiful co-hostess, like none other on television, Mr. Christina Lime. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special announcement to make tonight. The Midnight Show, my faithful followers, my friends on Facebook, I want to make an announcement to everyone on this show tonight. Leo, wake up, Leo. It's a TV show, Leo.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Leo, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. He fell asleep. I forgot it. Uncle Leo Casino, my uncle. And right next to him, one of the other Midnight Show players, the famous Mr. Jojo Amendolari. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying to you, we have a very special announcement to make on the Midnight Show. You know, we've been doing the show for about 2 years, and we've tried our best. We have a live show, which is not easy to do. We were very lucky that a small network, should I say a small network, a small production company, I think they call themselves CBS TV. Is that them? TVGN network? Okay, well, anyway, they stumbled upon us, The Midnight Show with Vic Terno. They saw some of our work on YouTube, and guess what happened? There's a new reality show that I think is going to go off the charts. It's called The Mother of All Talent. It's about a mother and daughter who are from Staten Island, and they have a talent agency in Staten Island for 10 years approximately. Very well known, very big parts they give out to children. And they discovered The Midnight Show after some dialogue and what else went on YouTube. They saw our shows. And the executive producer of the show from CBS decided TVGN Network, which CBS just bought, 87 million subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. 87 million. Channel 157 on Time Warner and 130 on Fios. We will be, ladies and gentlemen, The Midnight Show with Vic Terno and some of my crew and my guests. We will be on the CBS TVGN network on one episode in November. How about that? All right? So, you know, things are really moving along nicely. I can't wait for us to get on that show. And that will be, it's premiering October 22nd on TVGN Network, 157, Time Warner again, 130 on Fios. At 8 p.m. will be the first show. Now, there's 8 episodes that they're going to premiere the show with, and we will be number 7 of the 8, and we'll give you an update of when we'll be on, either in the beginning of end of November or beginning of December. But it's a great thing for the Midnight Show. We're going to be not only countrywide, we'll be worldwide. Thank you. Okay, so let's get on with the show. And I think we have a great show for you tonight. And let's do it. How about it? The Midnight Show control room. Can we get that Midnight Show going? How about it? All right?
He's the man you want to know, Vic Terno. He's given all the love from God above. Vic Terno. He speaks the truth and brings the news. Vic Terno. Come on and clap your hands
guys.
for the man. Vic.
Thanks, guys. Oh, whoa. We have an audience here tonight? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to be here. I have my Christina with me. Christina, it's so good to see my Christina
I
on.
know, I'm so happy to be back.
I'm so happy. Christina, let's talk about what's happening, first of all, on this big step up for us, right?
I know.
That we filmed.
I know.
Christina and myself, we filmed this episode with the Mother of All Talent. Christina was with me. And let's see, we had, who else did we have? We had, let me just figure this out now. We're trying to, we had filmed this episode on location, one of them. And we also, I did one episode, well, actually I did 2 filmings.
You did the big
I did 2, one in the Tottenville Diner in Staten Island. I filmed one of the scenes. And I also filmed another scene in an Italian bakery in Staten Island. And the third scene we did on location in, was it the Tottenville restaurant?
Yeah.
On Amboy Road?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Christina filmed with me.
They had great cheeseburgers.
They had great cheeseburgers, right? And I had salmon, it was really delicious. And I'm just trying to see what else we had. Just try to get this out of our way here. It's interrupting us. Okay. Let's see now. Christina, so tell us exactly, can you give the audience a little idea exactly what we did in the filming on that day at the show?
Sure. So we got picked up actually by YouTube. You guys could watch us on YouTube. One of the producers of the show picked us up, and he had us film on location. We went to the tavern, and we got there. It was very exciting. The production crew was there, and we basically had the same setup that we have over here. And I can't give away too many details. You have to watch it yourself. But Vic, do you want to proceed?
Well, this is the thing. What we did, we originally were supposed to shoot the show here when we filmed. But because we couldn't get that to work at the time, there was some things that got in between doing that, audience. The powers to be over at the production company, the executive producer of the show, decided we were going to go on location and shoot. And that's how we wound up to be shooting on location at this Tottenville restaurant. But it worked out so well. And like I said, we're going to be on sometime in November or December. And I'm so excited for all my crew and for my other members of the cast of our TV show. Because, I mean, did we expect to be on an episode of a premier network?
I got the phone call. I was shocked, to be quite honest.
Right, Christina?
It was very exciting.
I was so happy for Christina. But imagine we're going to be on a premiere show on a premiere network. I mean, that's amazing. The TVGN network, which has been around for a while, TVGN network, was bought up by CBS and Lionsgate, and they decided that they're going to turn the station into a regular, like a CBS station. And they have 87 million already subscribers, and that is an unimaginable amount of viewership.
All future fans of the Vic Terno show.
Right, exactly. So we have really a stupendous beginning. Okay, Christina, you want to give us any update on what you've been doing, or aside what you know?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough to get called to do some background work on a TV show called Boardwalk Empire.
Everyone knows Boardwalk Empire, right? Folks?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I was really happy to be a part of it and to be on the set and see behind the scenes, because it happens to be one of my favorite shows that I watch all the time. So it was really cool to be behind the scenes and see how everything got made and
you know,
went
they're
down.
lucky. They don't know it, unless they might know it, but they're lucky even to have Christina on the Boardwalk Empire, right, Christina?
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a memorable day for me.
Exactly. So that's a good thing. And how you doing with that vodka thing you were working
The vodka's actually doing really great. We just did a party in the city. We did a charity event for juvenile diabetes.
Can you give the name of the product too?
Paparazzi Vodka. And it went flying off the bar. Everybody loved it.
Wow.
Everybody loved it. It was really
Paparazzi
great.
Vodka, everybody. So keep that in the back of your head, okay? Paparazzi Vodka. All right, let me. Oh, we have Mrs. Miller, my Mrs. Miller out in the audience, Cassandra. Can we get a little shot of Cassandra and my Mrs. Miller, like the Merv Griffin show? And Mrs. Miller, I have Cassandra. Can we get one of the cameras to get a shot of her? Can we get a look? Maybe Helene could grab her. There she is. There's Cassandra. Okay. Okay, only two. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, to get on with the show, as I told you, Christina, we have a really fabulous show.
I know.
Now, we have one of my favorite in the world singers on our show tonight. As I told you, Mr. Carl Thomas, who used to open up for Jackie Mason amongst other different acts besides Jackie Mason, but that's one of the ones he did quite often. He's worked with other people. I'm sure down the road you know who they are. I'm not going to mention names. He worked at the Sahara. That's where he opened up in Las Vegas for Jackie. But without further ado, I want to get the show going because we have so much going on. But I would like to have Carl come up and sing his first song. Control room, can we get his first song ready to play? And I'm going to ask Carl, Mr. Carl Thomas. I want a Carl Thomas welcome. Stand up, audience. Ovation. Can we stand up for Mr. Carl Thomas? Here we go, Carl Thomas. Oh! Let's get that song going, this song.
You
rhythms right out of the heart. Man, you charm the husk right off of the corn. Man, you've got those banjos strumming and plunking out a tune to beat the band. The whole plantation is hopping since you brought Dixie back to Dixieland. Yeah, you make the cotton easy to pick. Man, you give my old mint julep a kick. Man, you make the old magnolia tree blossom at the mention of your name. You made us feel alive again and giving us the drive again to make the South revive again, man. Man. To beat the band. The whole plantation is humming since you brought Dixie back to Dixieland. You make the cotton easy to pick. Man, you give my old mint julep a kick, kick, kick. Man, you make the old magnolia tree blossom at the mention of your name. Your special fascinational proved to be inspirational. We think you're just sensational, man.
Fabulous, Carl. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Mr. Carl Thomas, come on, let's hear it for Mr. Carl Thomas. Carl, fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Carl, welcome back again. You know, Carl's a regular neighborhood buddy of mine. I mean, he's a Brooklyn guy. He's a man of many talents, aside from being a fabulous singer. And I'm just so happy to have him on the show. I mean, he runs in great company. Jackie Mason, Pat Cooper. I mean, there's so many more I can't even begin to say. Joan Rivers, Don Rickles, all the big shots. And we have a guy here who's I mean, he's a classic in his own time. So we're lucky to have him. I mean, this guy can do Jack the Knife. I mean, he's just phenomenal. Bobby Darin, you name it, he can do it. And I'm just happy you're here with us.
Thank you very much.
So
my
now,
pleasure to be back here.
Let me ask you a question. How the heck did you get started in show business?
Well, actually,
you got locked up. You told me that. That was another story.
I've been singing since I'm like 15 years old. We had rock and roll groups back in the day.
Back in the day, okay.
And as a matter of fact, the guys that worked with us as either drummers or guitar players, we still meet every other month in Bocelli's, actually.
Really? Bocelli's?
And we meet, these guys, everybody's out of the business but me.
So you jam a little bit with these
No,
guys?
no, no. We just hang out.
Hang out.
Talk about the old days, and, you know, everybody's got other careers, and I basically was in the business when I was a kid. I got out, then I went back in around, I got married in '75, so I gave myself a little bit of a break to raise a family.
Nice. And now you're a very good father. I say, you know, it's funny, if you don't mind me mentioning, Carl, I was at Spumoni Gardens with my Ellen. We were at High Ellen, and we were having our thing, eating, and who comes strolling down the street with a whole bunch of kids and his wife? Carl Thomas, the family man.
Right, exactly.
And we met up in Spumoni. Anybody know what Spumoni Gardens is? Huh? 86th Street. And my friend Lenny that owns that.
Well, I went full circle that day.
You went to the Bronx Zoo?
I took to the Bronx Zoo first.
Wow.
We got caught in the rain for about an hour.
Did you?
Yeah, it was okay. It was fine.
But you enjoyed yourself?
We loved it. Then we came back to Brooklyn, went to Coney Island.
Leo, we're running a show right now. Uncle Leo, I know that you, Jojo, you want to put your bets in tonight in the craps game, but you got to hold off a little bit.
No, he's selling Avon tonight.
He's selling Avon today. I'm kidding, Uncle Leo. I love Uncle Leo. Yeah, what were you saying now?
And we came from the Bronx, came to Brooklyn, went to Coney Island to have pizza and Totone's restaurant, pizzeria.
Totone's.
Totone's.
Yeah, famous Coney Island, famous Totone's Pizzeria. Everyone knows that.
We came to L&B Spumoni Gardens to have Spumoni. And
you just went everywhere that day.
Forget about it. I was dead by the time I got home. They had to peel me out of the car.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's
so
what
you
it's
were all
all
over
about.
the place. The only place you didn't hit was Nathan's.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, so all right, so we got that out of the way. Now I need to know. You started singing at 15, so you started with the rock and roll bands.
Rock and roll bands doing, you know, the Beatles and
the neighborhood
Rolling
stuff.
Stones, you know, the
right.
Young Rascals were big in those days.
Oh, that was my group too.
Right.
I went to see them that recently out in Westchester.
Right.
And that was the first show they did before they went into Broadway.
Okay.
And I spoke with Felix after the show, and what a gentleman he is.
Yeah.
And you know, I know his manager, Sid Bernstein.
Right.
And Sid told me, he says he's a genius. And does anybody know who Sid Bernstein is? Sid Bernstein is the guy that brought the Beatles to America.
Right.
He's the guy who was the agent for the Beatles. American, over here, not Brian Epstein. He brought them here himself. And he's also the Young Rascals, who you know them also. He was their manager for the Young Rascals.
Exactly right.
He told me that Felix Cavalieri, the singer and composer for the Young Rascals, was a genius.
He certainly was.
He really was.
Yeah.
You remember the songs? How Can I Be Sure? Groovin'.
Good Lovin'.
People Gotta Be Free. Good Lovin'. I mean, the hit after hit after hit.
Well, back in the day, we were kids.
Yeah.
You know, when we were kids, because we're about the same age almost. I'm a few years older than you. Murray the K.
You may be a little younger than me, but I'm better looking than you.
Well, listen, I don't want to go with the whole production. But, you know, it is what it is. But
but anyway, Carl Thomas is an established enigma in his own time in the singing field. And he's kind of a comedian, too. But we don't want to rub Pat Cooper the wrong way.
Pat Cooper?
Yeah, we don't want to get into his turn. Once you get started with Pat, you're in trouble.
Or Jackie Mason.
Or Jackie Mason. Now, let me ask...
It's funny about those two gentlemen.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, 15 years old, I idolized their humor. And I studied their albums, like, to a T. And the first album that Pat Cooper had was Our Hero, which was recorded at the place on Ocean Park. We spoke about that.
The Elegante.
The Elegante with George
Elegante was a very big club during the 70s, late 60s, for big stars like Pat Cooper, Carl Thomas,
Vic Terno,
Don Rickles. Rickles, all the big shots.
Joe Scandura was Don Rickles'
Joe
first manager.
Scandura, who was very big.
Who owned the Elegante.
He owned the Elegante. He was a very good dear friend of my father's. He owned a place called the Scandura Paper Box Factory off the BQE in Queens.
Right.
That's what he did. So, ladies and gentlemen, but I wanted to know, like, what's happening now? What are you doing?
Well, right now, I wrote it down because, you know, at my age, I can't remember too many things.
Does anybody have a Paul's cane?
Huh? And I couldn't keep the paper on the floor because it would have gotten in the way of the
It's understandable. It's understandable. What do you got? Tell
this Sunday, I'm at Gargiulo's. We're doing a benefit for breast cancer.
Gargiulo's, Coney Island, everybody. Gargiulo's. I mean, if you haven't been to Gargiulo's, you haven't been around.
And next Friday, I'm going to be September 27th. We'll be at a place called the Aqua Blue in Brooklyn.
Nice. Aqua Blue, Brooklyn.
That's a brand new nightclub.
Okay.
And then that weekend, Sunday the 29th, I'm at a place called the Casa Belvedere. It's here on Howard
Sure,
Avenue,
everyone knows the Casa Belvedere, sure.
We're doing a Fiesta Italiano.
Fiesta Italiano, let's hear about that.
I'll be there at 3 o'clock.
That's my man Carl Thomas, all right.
Yeah. But I got to tell you a funny story about...
I want to hear the story that I heard about with you and Jackie Mason. You want to tell me that story?
There's a lot of funny stories about Jackie Mason, but my friend Frank next to me here is the reason why I'm going to tell this story. Back when The Sopranos just about got started, what year was that, Frank?
I believe that was around 1999.
1999, okay. So around the year 2000, Jackie Mason and I are sitting in a cafe on Mulberry Street called Cafe Palermo.
Of course.
Having a cup of coffee.
Good. That's a good guy, John, friend of mine.
Right.
Good man.
Baby John.
Baby John.
Baby John. He's the cannoli king of Mulberry
That's
Street.
right. He's got the best desserts in Little Italy.
Right. So we're sitting having a cup of coffee. It's like around maybe 10 o'clock at night. And who comes out of Taormina's across the street is James Gandolfini and two guys. And they're all dressed in...
James Gandolfini, we all know him, who just passed away, the star of The Sopranos. Who not to interrupt the story, but ladies and gentlemen, right here, you have Mr. Frank Albanese from The Sopranos. Right here, so let's have a look. Uncle Pat. He worked with James Gandolfini. So let's hear the story now. Let's continue.
So we're sitting there having a cup of coffee, and Gandolfini recognizes Jackie Mason. So he walks up, he goes, "Hey, Jackie, how you doing?" So Jackie right away goes, "Hello, hello, you know what? You look like a real gangster. You know what? I know guys that are gangsters, they don't look like you. You could play the part. You don't need to play the part because you know what? You're a natural. You look just like a gangster. You know, right now, I'm very afraid of talking to you right now, but you know what? Who's those two guys sitting next to you?" He says, "Those are my friends." He goes, "How about if I bust you in the mouth right now? What are they going to do, these Nazis? What are they going to do?" He's going to, and Gandolfini's hysterical laughing. And he was a hell of a guy, James Gandolfini.
Oh,
right?
very nice guy.
Yeah, I worked with him once on one of the episodes of Sopranos. That was
Best.
Jackie
with Tony Sirico.
Right.
Another good guy.
But Jackie Mason had him hysterical.
He had him hysterical.
He couldn't control himself.
It's good times, right, Carl?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I started back in the business in a place called the Red Blazer 2 on 46th Street and 8th Avenue.
I heard the Red Blazer 2, yes.
Yeah. And
you want to know how I know the place?
How?
My father was the Tavern Owners Association representative for all of New York State.
Okay.
And the Red Blazer was one of his accounts. We insured all these restaurants, and that's how I guess he was close with Joe Scandura.
Right.
This is going back, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of years.
And back in those days when I worked the Red Blazer with a guy named Sonny Daniels Orchestra, 17-piece orchestra. I'm doing all Sinatra and all the big band sounds and whatever else. And Mason was on Broadway at the time. So I met Jackie Mason through Rodney Dangerfield, who was a good friend of mine way back.
Rodney Dangerfield, remember the comedian, everyone? We all know Rodney Dangerfield.
So,
all the big guys.
Meeting Jackie Mason at Dangerfield's club, him doing his one-man show, you know, his shtick, I had the nerve to write him a note. Says, "Jackie, my name is Carl Thomas. I'm working around the corner at the Red Blazer 2. Please stop by, say hello."
Right.
Because I know that he loved the big band sound, besides, you know, music that I might be doing. So at midnight, he walks in and he starts, "Who's Carl Thomas?" Comes to my show, leaves a message. I want to know who this guy is. Stop the music. I don't want to talk to nobody but this guy Carl Thomas. Has a lot of nerve coming to my show, leaving a message. Blah, blah, blah. So now we sit down and we're talking, and that was it. As I'm talking to him and I'm telling him who I am and what I did and how I reminded him of as to where I met him and whatever else, he said to me, he says, "You know what? I'm working on your career right now." I said, "What?" "I'm working on your career right as we talking. I'm working on your career. You're going to come to Las Vegas. We're going to hang out. We're going to go." Okay.
And that was it.
And sure enough, a couple of months later,
wow,
we went up in
how about that, ladies and gentlemen, huh? How we got started? A little bit early, push.
And then I hooked up with Pat Cooper. And Pat and I are very good friends. We're together every couple of weeks for dinner.
Pat and Cooper.
I open up for Pat many times.
Pat Cooper and Carl Thomas are hand in hand.
He's my buddy.
They're
He's
buddies.
my pal, yeah.
And we're going to get him back on the show again. Pat's already been on with us. You know, Carl, now we got pretty much, an idea of what's going on with you. I want to move on to the gentleman that's sitting next to you.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Should I go home or what?
No, if you go anywhere, we're all going to leave. You're not going. You got another song to do yet.
I'm sorry.
But we want to get to Frank Albanese. Frank Albanese is an established actor in the acting field. You know, I'm in the acting business 21 years. I'm in the Screen Actors Guild, and I've been around for a while. And I know Frank Albanese has been around, doing this for a long time as well. But we all know that he did get that big shot, that big break in The Sopranos as Uncle Pat. So right now, let me formally introduce you to my friend and Carl's friend and a friend of the Midnight Show, Mr. Frank Albanese, Uncle Pat from The Sopranos. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Vic.
All right, nice to have you here. And
nice being here.
We're so happy you're here with us that I can't tell you we're ecstatic. Tell me what you've been up to. Tell me how it was on The Sopranos. You know James Gandolfini better than anybody. You work with them. Tell us everything that you could possibly tell us. My audience here would like to know, and my TV audience.
We were very, very good friends. When I first went on the show, he introduced himself and he said, you're going to play my uncle, he says, you're going to be Nancy's brother. I said, oh, good, And after the show, he says, well, we'll go to my favorite restaurant in Little Italy. We'll have a nice dinner, El Cortile.
El Cortile, we all love that
restaurant.
Sure. Mulberry Street.
Yeah.
Right next to La Casa Bella.
That's it.
I've been there many times. I mean, Ellen, we were just right there not too long ago, right? Sure, Frank. Let me ask you, how many episodes did you actually do?
I was only on 4 actually, but you know, I was on the last episode when the screen went blank.
Really?
I was on that episode.
That's a good one to be on, right, Frank? When it goes blank. What's the first episode? Let's talk about the first one you did.
First episode, I was.
And what you did on the episode?
I couldn't. That was when they buried the bodies, and well, I buried the bodies. I waxed the Johnson brothers.
Wait, so you were a hitman?
I was a hitman.
You know, you weren't just an uncle.
I gotta move my seat.
It sounds like my Uncle Leo, kind of like my Uncle Leo in the movie business, but he does a little work on the side. He works in a funeral parlor.
Graveyard.
And he's sitting right next to the to JoJo Mendelar and the Undertaker.
I'm a big shot. I got a lot of people working under me.
That was good, Leo. Well, let me ask you a question. Frank, we have a beautiful Christina Lime here. Christina, would you like to ask her? Because Christina's starting to do a little acting, Frank.
Oh,
so maybe she wants
certainly
to...
pretty enough, yeah.
Frank, take it easy, Frank, all right?
Oh,
it's a TV show.
I'm an old man in my heart.
Frank, it's a TV show. It's a family show, right? No, but all kidding aside, you know, Christina, would you like to ask Frank anything about The Sopranos or anything that...
How did you get picked up for The Sopranos? Did you go audition and try out and fall into your
Yeah, like one day I just went to Georgianne Walk, and she did the casting of The Sopranos. I was just going by to leave a photo and resume.
Does anybody know who Georgianne Walken is?
Christopher Walken's wife.
Thank you, Leo. That's the actor. Everybody know who Christopher Walken is? Yeah. Remember the guy in James Bond movie with Roger Moore? That's Christopher Walken.
Astoria Queen.
There you go. There you go. Mrs. Cassandra said it.
Walken Bakery.
Please.
So she, I left the picture there, and then she comes running after me. She says, "Wait a minute." And she says, "I want you to read for a part. I want you to read the part of Eddie Fusco." That was their who.
That's originally who they wanted you to play, Eddie.
No, Eddie Fusco. Then later on became Pat Blundetto.
Okay.
So I read for the part. She said, "Oh, very, very good." She says, "I'm going to have you read for the director, Michael Figgis." I read for him. Okay, you got the part, he said.
Nice.
And then they said, "Well, we changed the name from Eddie Fusco."
Was it Christopher Walken or Georgiana Walken?
Georgianne Walken.
Georgiana Walken.
And they says, "Okay, you know, your name is not going to be Eddie Fusco, it's going to be Uncle Pat Blundetto. You're going to play Tony Soprano's uncle." Very good. So that's how I got. That was my first episode, and that was when I couldn't remember where I buried the bodies. I was suffering from dementia. You know.
Kind of like my Uncle Leo on the end over there. Huh? No, I'm just kidding, Uncle Leo. I love Uncle Leo. So so that's basically how you got started there.
Well, that's how I started.
I also heard that you were a professional heavyweight boxer.
I was, and that's how I
don't want any trouble. I'm just saying. All right.
That's how I got into show business. I was a protege of Rocky Graziano. It was very good.
Excuse me, Frank. Control room. Can we get a shot, a picture that I gave you on the screen of Mr. Albanese with Rocky Graziano? Could we show a picture of that? Now, while they're looking for that, didn't you also spar? Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Is it on? It's on the screen now. Yes. Is that something? Look at him with Rocky Graziano. Now, you knew Graziano pretty well, right?
Very, very well.
Now, besides Graziano, Mr. Albanese, Frank, used to actually spar with the famous heavyweight Mr. Rocky Marciano, the only undefeated heavyweight champion of the world through today. Now, what was it like to spar with Rocky Marciano?
It was rough. Very hard puncher. Never got tired. My arms are all numb and black and blue after.
And you used a word that you described Rocky Marciano as, the way he would box, the word was relentless.
Oh, he'd keep on coming at you. Would never stop.
Relentless means unstoppable. He would just keep coming at you.
It was a punching machine. He threw punches from every angle.
From every angle, and he just wouldn't stop. He used to beat your arms to death. That's how he won a lot of his fights. He burst through your blood.
Exactly. That's how he beat Jersey Joe Walcott. His arms became numb. He dropped his guard.
Wow.
He tagged him with a good right hand.
Unbelievable. Now listen, control room, where I have you there with that chat, is that picture down? Do you have another picture up there I wanted to show of me? Frank, we have another picture of me with some of the other actors from the, what was that show called? New York Undercover. Do you have it on there yet? Yeah. Okay, so everyone can see that? Yeah. I want my studio and my TV audience. That's me in the middle. Do you see me when I was younger? That's when I was handsome, ladies and gentlemen. That's me in there. And you have Frank Adonis, who's another pretty much famous actor. Sal Piero. I can't remember the other ones that are on that picture. Do you remember, Frank?
Oh, what's his name? Richie Gamba.
Richie Gamba was on there, a very dear friend of mine. And who else? And Leo Casino.
Oh, Danny Aiello Jr.
Danny Aiello and Leo Casino, Uncle Leo, everyone. Uncle Leo. That's right. So, you know, we were very lucky that we were able to have all these people on the show. So we really are like a family. The Midnight Show is a family. Christina, we have the Facebook as a family, and our acting as a family. And by the way, Christina Lime is very shortly going to get involved with modeling that we've been talking about for a while, but we've been really busy because she's busy also becoming a teacher. But she's also going to be getting involved and going to the some of the acting agencies with me because I want her to get started in that. Because when you look like Christina and you're the kind of person she is, you just have to give her a good start and give her a little break, and we're going to try to help her. Right, Christina? Round of applause for Christina. All right. Okay, guys, if you don't mind, I just want to do two things. I want to say hello to Jojo Amendolari before we move on. Can we have a round of applause again for Joe? Jojo? Joe, how are you? How's everything going?
Everything's fine.
You good? You feeling good?
Yeah, good. Everything's good.
Good?
The last movie was with Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia.
Allen, that was about it.
And you're getting
and
ready
I was also with Sopranos, too.
You're in
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
Episodes, yeah.
And you're getting ready to do Target New York City, right? We're going to do the teaser.
Yes.
With the, we're going to go see SAG and sit down with them and try to get a little plan going. Uncle Leo, tell me what you're up to. You getting ready to do the New York Undercover, New York Undercover?
Yes.
The Target New York City teaser, trailer?
Yes.
All right, Uncle Leo plays in that. Uncle Leo Leonetti, he plays my uncle in this Target New York City mob screenplay about a biological attack in New York. The mafia family from Brooklyn, the Leonettis, come involved. And Jojo, who I just wrote into the script as a full character, he plays The Undertaker. Can you see why? Can you see why?
Busy.
The Undertaker.
He'll never let you down as long as you live.
That's where you go.
Very good.
Frank, you see him walk into the Undertaker room, you know there's a problem, right, Frank? All right, listen, we also want to say that we have as a special guest a very quick song by a young lady. Can we get it in the control room? She's a friend of the Midnight Show with Vic Terno, and I'm going to invite her to come up. And can we get that in the control room? My floor manager, are we ready? All right, let's bring Brian, introduce her, and bring her a microphone, and let's get this lovely young lady up here. You want to announce her name, please, Brian, and bring her up.
Mila Lamar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Neela Lamar. She's going to sing a little song for us. Round of applause.
Good evening to everybody.
Pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was so simple then? Oh, it's time living in every mind.
voice.
But I tell you, there's no shortage of talent on the Midnight Show.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't know what to say, guys. Call.
Anybody else?
Fantastic.
I mean, could we, Frank? Could we?
I thought you was great.
She sounds great, man.
What do you think, JoJo?
Great. Wow, great.
Uncle Leo?
Very good.
Jimmy?
Beautiful voice.
You enjoyed it?
Beautiful voice.
And happy.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for her again. How about
Yes,
Okay, before we move on, I want to get back to a conversation with Carl and with Frank about more of what they're doing. But a friend of mine has got a CD out, and it's called Cadillac Respect by Jay Force. Can anybody see it? Can we get a close-up one of the cameras, please? Tommy, can you get that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, this particular gentleman, if you want this, he's going to be a future guest of mine. He's a creator of this whole thing. He puts these sounds together from the 90s that people love. He's from Staten Island. His name is Jay Force. If you're a fan of that 90s underground stuff, he's the guy. CadillacRespect.com. You can get your CD right on there. Listen in. You get a teaser. And you get all the classics from that golden era of hip-hop. And I'm sure I got that right. So listen, can we take Helene's camera and can we do a quick cameo of my buddy Jay Force? Can we get a shot of him in the back? Stand up, Jay Force, stand up. There he is. Let's have a round of applause for Jay Force. Justin, my man Justin. Okay, so remember that, everyone. He'll be a future guest, a hip-hop guy, and this is his Cadillac Jay Force CD. Okay? All right, now we got that out of the way. Now, Christina, Uncle Leo, JoJo Mandalari, Jimmy. I want everybody to ask questions for the finality of my show, because I like to get my show involved. And is anybody that wants to come up to the microphone, as well as my audience? Brian, if there's anyone who wants to come up and ask a question to any of my guests, Frank Albanese or to Carl Thomas, my two guests, you'd be welcome to come up and just let us know. In the meantime, Leo, Joe, anybody want to ask any of the gentlemen any questions? Carl Thomas, Leo, or Frank Albanese? Anything you want to ask? Jimmy? Anything, Jimmy? Just ask away. Leo, what do you want to talk to?
Not one question, the whole panel, one question.
Well, Christina might have it.
I have to say something really funny. I'm a huge, huge Sopranos fan because of my father and my mother. They used to watch it all
There you
the
go.
time. Even though I used to have to like sneak behind the closet
Whoa.
to some of the scenes, they'd be like, "No, get out of here!" But I would still watch it. Now that I'm of the age, Dad, I could watch it. I'm watching the seasons over again. This is my fourth time watching it because it's such a good series. I'm not embarrassed to say I watch it all the time. And actually, before I came here, that's not why I was late, though, Vic. I wasn't watching The Sopranos.
Who's going to get mad at Christina?
That's not why I was late.
Who's going to get mad at Christina?
I was watching an episode, and he happens to be in one of the episodes that I was watching, and you actually surprised me. I had no idea he was going to be on the show.
And she said to me, who's on it? I said, I don't know, it was Uncle Pat or Uncle Junior, one of the two. And she goes, oh, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's
Yeah,
one
so
of the
I
two.
came in and I saw him, and I got a real kick out of it that he's here, especially because I was just watching him on TV.
I'm
so
glad you
that
told me. That means I get a residual check.
Ah, there you go. Joe, little Joe Barry, big Joe Barry.
Frank,
you want to ask?
excuse me.
Oh, go, Joe.
Sorry. Frank, do you have something coming up the 25th or something?
Oh, that's Benny Vella for New York Community Television. He's going to do a memorial tribute to James Gandolfini.
Oh, that's nice.
So, he invited me over. We had the other members of the Sopranos there. So and anybody wants to come, they can come. They'll be in the audience there. It's on 59th Street. It starts around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Has he got a half-hour show or an hour show?
It's an hour show.
Like mine?
Like yours.
Like mine, sure. It's Big Joe Barry. Anything you want to ask to either Frank Albanese or Carl Thomas?
No, not a fan.
All right, be quiet, Joe. Jimmy, anything you want to say? Well, listen. All seriousness.
Everybody gets theirs. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead, Leo.
Oh, the last episode I did was Sister Italy, and the girl that wrote the screenplay, Angela Rego, she would like to put her little clip into your show. She was asking me tonight. you know, she could put her little.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
No problem.
It's
Just let me know.
You know, by the way, somebody came back from Italy and they saw Vic Terno show in Italy.
Whoa!
And they said,
ladies and gentlemen, the stars in Italy.
And they says, who's these guys in the restaurant? He says, who's these guys in the restaurant? They said. You know, the restaurant scene they saw.
Right.
They got a lot of praise.
Right. All right. As long as people are seeing it, that's all that counts, right? But I have questions, though, guys. My first one is for Carl Thomas. Carl.
Yes.
Without getting us in trouble or getting you in trouble, who's the person that you enjoyed most working with, others, a performer, in your career, and who's one of the ones that you didn't like so much?
Well, Tony Orlando was.
We're gonna start trouble tonight, everybody.
Tony Orlando is a real gentleman in the business.
Tony Orlando. Who knows Tony Orlando? Anybody know Tony Orlando?
And I got to know him through Johnny Patillo. Actually.
Okay.
And when Tony met me, he knew at the time, going back about 12, 13 years ago, that I created a show around Bobby Darin. And that really attracted him to me and me to him.
So you liked him on a personal level?
But when I met him personally, and we did a show in Wilmington, Vermont, I mean, the guy's just a wonderful man. There was a couple that waited for him backstage after the show. And she had all these souvenir pictures and whatever else, whatever they call it. What do they call that? Like all the
collage?
Right, a collage of, and she wanted him.
See, I went to school, everybody.
Yeah, but you can't spell.
College too, college graduate.
You could say you can't spell that word though. Don't.
No,
tell
but
me.
could you spell it?
So anyway,
you made a baby look bad.
It's a joke. So anyway, she wanted to meet Orlando. When I went back, as Tony, there's a girl out there with her husband, and she'd like to meet you. The kid was shaking.
Really?
Because she never met him before. He sat there for an hour and a half and spoke.
And spoke to them.
And looked at this collage of.
I want to get to a real quick story, but who's one of the people that you didn't like? Can you tell us honestly, someone that you didn't care for in the business?
I really can't say.
All right, so let's skip that. But I'll tell
there are a couple, though. There are a couple of guys.
Tell me this last quick one. There's a story that he has about Tony Orlando after they left one of the shows.
Yeah.
And they went out to eat.
Tony Orlando's a very, very...
Listen to the story about Tony Orlando.
A very, very generous man. You cannot go in your pocket for nothing. No tip, no nothing. So after 3 nights of this nonsense, I told my wife, you know what, I just can't do this with this guy because he's just too much. And he's loved by his musicians, that they kiss him goodnight before they go to their room. It's no lie. So now this the last night of the show. We all leave the theater. We come back to the hotel, and I'm in my own vehicle, and he comes in with the limousine. He gets out of the limousine pulls away, and he said, all right, we're going to go for dinner now. I says, Tony, I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep. I got to get up tomorrow morning, get back to New York. He says, no, you're not. He had an idea that I didn't want to go because I couldn't pick up a check.
Right.
I had a hatchback, the Jeep. He opens the Jeep from the back, jumps in the back of the car, lays there like a dead man, will not get out of the car until I drove to the restaurant 4 blocks away.
Is that funny, ladies and gentlemen, or what, huh?
And I have pictures of him in the back of my Jeep.
Oh, my God.
Amazing. The man is just an amazing man. He's heart bigger than his body. Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Wonderful guy.
Now, Frank, can you tell us, Mr. Albanese?
Oh, please, Frank.
Frank, can you tell us 2 things I want to know about, with my audience I'm sure would want to know. Who did you love working with the most on any of the TV that you've done in movies? Anybody in particular you thought was really a really superb human being?
Well, The Sopranos, I liked them all on The Sopranos, but my favorite working with was Edie Falco.
Edie Falco.
I really loved working
Everybody
with her.
knows Edie Falco, right? She played the wife.
She was a wonderful person.
Nice.
You couldn't be a nicer person than Edie. Very, very
Beautiful.
nice. And a great actress, too.
Now, here's my last question for you, Frank. What was it like knowing Rocky Marciano? I want to know about 2 people I loved in my lifetime. I admired. I'm going to tell you who they are. One of them was Rocky Marciano, and the other one was Mickey Mantle. You don't get better in your fields than those 2. I don't care who it is. For Joe DiMaggio, quote, to say he's the greatest all-around baseball player I've ever seen of all time, you don't get Joe DiMaggio, who's an enigma in his own self, to say something like that about someone else. Who would you say, Frank, was tell me something about Marciano that I might not know, that you knew when you boxed with the guy.
Yeah, he was a shy guy.
Shy.
And like, he wasn't, I personally thought he was conceited or whatever,
Right.
But he was just quiet, but he was a very shy man.
Very shy.
Yeah.
But you liked the man that he was?
Oh, yeah, he was a very nice person, very nice person.
And yeah, a lot of you might not realize that how Rocky Marciano passed away. He passed away on a plane ride in a snowstorm. And do you know where he was going, Frank?
I know it was some sort of charitable thing.
He was going to a Toys for Tots charity event to give toys to children.
Wow.
And he died in a plane crash on the way there. I think he was about 48 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So this happens. But, okay, so we got that out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the close, approaching the close of the show. But before I do that, I would like to have Carl Thomas sing one of his songs for us as a closing song. I would say to you that Carl Thomas, as you know, was nice enough to come back tonight. And we're going to have him back time to time because he's my regular guy from the neighborhood, as well as being a famous guy. With me and him, it's more we're just friends from the neighborhood. Right, Carl?
No
so
doubt
we'll
about
always
it.
stick together.
Without a doubt.
And we got to get Tony Orlando down here, too.
Well,
I want to go to Gargiulo's with him.
He's got a pretty tough schedule.
I know.
We'll try.
But if he comes
He
to
could
New York...
take me to lunch, sure.
They really. But, Carl, I want you to...
Won't get an argument out of me, yeah.
I want you to promise me that on the show that if you can get a hold of, who's it, Johnny? Who's this from? Johnny Patillo. Johnny Patillo. Get him, Tony, us, we'll go out to eat. Frank, we'll go out for dinner.
Okay.
So take the boys with one big dinner.
Great.
In the meantime, all right, Frankie. In the meantime, let's get the studio ready for Carl Thomas, my control room. Can we get his song set up, Brian? We're all set?
Ready to go?
Okay. Can we go, Carl Thomas? We're going to get him up there. Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Thomas, closing up the midnight show for us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We dreamers have our ways, facing rainy days, and somehow we survive. We keep the feelings warm, protect them from the storm, until our time arrives. Then one day the sun appears. We come shining through those lonely years. I made it through the rain, kept my world protected. I made it through the rain, kept my point of view. I made it through the rain, found myself respected by the others who got rained on too and made it through. When friends are hard to find, life seems so unkind. Sometimes you feel afraid. Just aim beyond the clouds and rise above the crowds and start your own parade. 'Cause when I chase my fears away, that's when I knew that I could finally say I made it through the rain, kept my world protected. I made it through the rain, kept my point of view. I made it through the rain, found myself respected by the others who
We love you. We'll see you again on the Midnight Show.
Beautiful guy.
Great show.
Great show.
That was nice. That was nice. You had the
Wave goodbye, everybody. Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye, everybody. Jimmy, Leo, wave goodbye, everybody.
So much for having that much.
He's the man you want to
Very
know.
professional.
Oh, yeah, you like it? Hope it's the
He's
best
giving
show
all
you
the
ever
love
had.
from God above. Vic Terno. He speaks the truth and brings the news. Vic Terno. Come on and clap your hands for the man, Vic Terno.